Hey everybody, Chris and Sara here, life transformation and self-empowerment coaches from Soul and Wonder, and we are so happy to be here today for yet another video
on leaving your comfort zone and how you can leave your comfort zone the right way. How many of you have made decisions in your life just to keep you feeling safe and secure? How many of you feel like you're okay, you're content, you're happy, you're not burnt out, you're doing life, but you're not quite living to its fullest?
But could it be better?
Could it be better? Exactly. Are you asking yourself this? Could my life be better? Maybe there are certain things that you hold yourself back from, like you operate at maybe a 5 or a 6 instead of a full 10 because
Who doesn't want to operate from a 10?
Because it's a little uncomfortable to put yourself in it full throttle. This is our way, the human condition's way, to stay safe and to stay secure and to never have to grow, because growing is scary. Growing requires change. That oftentimes means leaving behind relationships, jobs, careers, passions, whatever it is might have to evolve for us to grow. So it's a little easier to just stay complacent.
And what can we do to leave our comfort zone? What are the things that we need to cultivate within ourselves to be able to jump into that unknown and take a dive off that cliff?
I think first it's really important to talk about why leaving our comfort zone is important. Because if you don't have passion behind the motivation, you're not going to stick to it. We're not going to stick to it. We're going to stay exactly where we are. We've become a little addicted to leaving our comfort zone. As soon as things start to get a little...
We might want to look at that.
We might want to look at that deeper. But as soon as things start to get a little stagnant, it's like something burning inside of us that says, okay, it's time to challenge ourselves. It's time to do the one thing that we're afraid of most. It's time to push ourselves a little harder here. And it's not in the sense of becoming something we aren't. It's just simply for exploration purposes, and to know that when we are out of our comfort zone, we are evolving into our true selves.
The thing I always come back to is, do you really want to live, or do you simply want to exist? What are the things in your life right now that if you could banish all the fear and put it to the side, what would you do? What action would you take to pursue your dreams, to pursue your passions? And what is holding you back?
And how do you think your life would change if you allowed yourself to fully live in the way that he expressed? How much more joy would you align with? How much more fulfillment and happiness? And sure, it requires taking risks, but that's the whole point, because without risk, there's no reward for actually pushing ourselves out of our complacency. So here's also where it's important to tune into your values. There are certain times of our lives where we might want to stay comfortable. And, we go through waves where we allow ourselves to stay cozy, stay comfortable for a certain amount of time.
It's a time of integration for us.
Exactly.
For sure.
It's definitely a time of integration. It allows us to reground, reroute, integrate everything that we'd learned from leaving our comfort zone. And then our soul will stir inside of us when we know it's time to once again take
another adventure.
Take a few risks, go on another adventure. And that's what's beautiful, is because none of this is forced. You're not forcing yourself out of your comfort zone. Remember, we don't want to try anything. You don't want to force anything. You want to listen to your soul's calling that's guiding you out of the comfort zone, saying, hey, now's the right time. This is the right risk to take. These are the actions to take. Maybe you notice the synchronicity, blaring signals that are like, hey, do something now. And then there will be times when your soul requires you to stabilize and root in earth.
If none of this mattered, if you didn't have any of these fears, what would you do? Write that down in your journal or wherever you want to write that, and look at the list of things that brings you to life, that brings you excitement, that brings you joy. And that's then where we need to start taking action towards those things. But at least having a list of what those things are is a great first step.
What would you do if you weren't afraid of failure? And I'm sure you could think of something right off the top of your head, a
Yep.
certain hobby you might pursue, a certain talent you might refine, a person you might speak with about how you truly feel, a career you may want to start. The one thing that keeps us in our comfort zone is fear of failure, fear of rejection, but sometimes fear of our success, because then that means our life will change, hence pushing us out of our comfort zone.
And I think the biggest example for us was when we decided that we were going to start a business, that we were going to actually do this and push it full throttle. It was scary as shit. And every single day waking up, there was so many things and fears being excavated. There was so many different times that we had to look within ourselves. I mean, this has been a beautiful personal growth journey, but some of you may share that same dream of starting a business or anything else that she had mentioned. But it's a process of really looking within, and it will test you on all levels, but it's so beautiful in every single way.
And this goes right along with our other video on breaking the cycle of making fear-based decisions and moving into your heart center, because you have to have that resilience and that faith in yourself to even subject yourself to something like starting your own business, to know that you will spring back from whatever your deepest fear is that could possibly happen from pursuing whatever it is that's pushing you out of your comfort zone. You have to trust that you will bounce back, that there is no such thing as failure, that rejection is just a refining tool to get you to where you need to be.
I think it really starts with this cultivating the mindset, the confidence, the strength, all of that will help to push you forward and beyond any of the fears that come up, any of the failures, because they're bound to happen. But failures are just as beautiful, if not more, than the successes, as they are the greatest teachers.
I know a lot of us struggle with self-doubt, anxiety, confidence issues are super prevalent, especially in this day and age. And all of that confidence does exist within you. Think of the most confident person you know in your life. All of those traits, all of those characteristics, everything that you see in them is just a projection of a fragment of yourself. You think it's lost, but it's there. So the idea is to let go of all the things that are clouding you from being able to see those beautiful parts within you, which do belong to your truest self. But when you have that confidence and that resilience and that faith in yourself, this creates a beautiful cocktail recipe that can give you the superpowers you need to leave your comfort zone. It's never going to take away the fear fully. I feel terrified every time we leave our comfort zone. Sometimes leaving my comfort zone means just going outside by myself to the store, because I have, past traumas and things of that sort that I work through regularly. And so I have to recognize when I feel ready to subject myself to that kind of leaving the comfort zone, and what can I learn from myself and teach myself as I move through that process.
And I think the most important thing is that you're never not going to have fear, or I guess a little trepidation when you're doing this and you are getting out of your comfort zone. But it's really important to move into that space and to really accept it for what it is and to love it for what it is. Because once we begin to love our fears, our trepidations, our worries, our anxieties, that's when we merge with it and we transmute it, and it becomes this beautiful unfoldment.
They're the indicators that let you know that you are in fact growing. It's like Iyanla Van Zant says, if you don't have a little bit of pee running down your leg, you're not doing it right. You're not getting deep enough. I love that quote, because with our clients, we always push the boundary just a little more. We follow our intuition. We know when it's appropriate, but we help them move into that space of fear. And that's what it is. That's where the gold, the magic happens. When we leave our comfort zone just a little bit each and every day, that builds and strengthens those muscles that you were talking about. Because maybe, for us, we left the country and went to Africa, and that's where we met. That was a huge example of leaving your comfort zone. But sometimes leaving your comfort zone is, as I used as an example earlier, leaving the house when I would rather be alone. Or maybe it's having that uncomfortable conversation with your partner that could elevate your relationship to the next level, but you're afraid to enter that space. There are smaller things, even trying a new recipe. eating a different way. That's leaving your comfort zone. Whatever in your life you feel you could explore just a little deeper, try it out. Every single day, ask yourself, what's one thing I can do today to leave my comfort zone? No matter how big, no matter how small, what's one thing I can do to leave my comfort zone?
And I think all of those wins every single day like that will add up and be a culmination of this really deep unfoldment for yourself, and to be able to take that dive you've always wanted to take that may seem scary right now, but after those wins are actually like subdued just a little bit and turned down. And at that point you can dive off the deep end and go right into it. And I mean, how incredible, how beautiful is that to be able to do that, and to be able to not look back on your life 10, 15, 20, 40 years from now and say, I didn't do this one thing, and be filled with regret, because nobody wants that. You don't want that. I don't want that. She doesn't want that. So this is the time right now. Today you can make that decision to jump off and to dive a little bit deeper. If you guys like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. We will be coming back to you once again next week for another video.
See you guys later.